Welcome, whoever you are, to Meg's Magical Mansion, a virtual guest house for spiritual wayfarers, a place where the ordinary becomes magical, where wisdom is yours for the asking, and where your higher nature is just a wish away. Thank you for joining us here today at Meg's Magical Mansion. I'm Meg, and this is my trusty butler, Scallion. And here in my lap is my little fluffy assistant, Miss Alice Poopers. We are so glad you joined us here today at Meg's Magical Mansion. Hey Scallion, do you know what our special spooky topic is for today?
Not for sure.
It's spooky ghosts. Because as Samhain is approaching, or as you people call it, Halloween, the veil between our world and the spirit world grows thin, and this is the perfect time of year for communication with the spirits and the spirit world. So today we're going to talk about ghosts and spooky stuff. We have a special guest, our paranormal investigator friend, Terri Rhode from Explorers of Spirit Phenomenon, is stopping by.
I have assisted with some of her work.
Yes, we're going to have a lot of fun, so get ready for some spooky, ghosty fun. Hey, Scallion.
Yes.
Boo!
Ah!
Well, I guess that means it's time, Alice Poopers, for words of wisdom once again. And today, we have a spooky, spooky poem for you. It's from Isaac McClellan, and it's called From the Haunted Wood. So sit back, relax, and enjoy a spooky poem.
An excerpt from The Haunted Wood by Isaac McClellan, 1806 to 1899. It is said that the spirits of buried men oft come to this wicked world again, that the churchyard turf is often trod by the unlaid tenants of tomb and sod, that the midnight sea itself is swept by those who have long beneath it slept. And they say of this old mossy wood, whose hoary trunks have for ages stood, that every knoll and dim lit glade is haunted at night by its restless shade.
So, Miss Alice Poopers, did you enjoy that spooky, spooky poem? Ooh, spooky woods, the haunted woods. I love spooky things. That's why today we're talking all about ghosts. And we're going to learn a little bit more about how ghosts can manifest themselves and some very spooky places around planet Earth that you could visit if you want to meet some ghosts. Let's take a look.
Well, October 31st is fast approaching, and whether you call that date Samhain or Halloween, I think we all know this is the day when the veil is thin and the spirit world and our three-dimensional world can intermingle more easily. So it's a time when you can communicate with ghosts and spooks and spirits, and that's what we're talking about today. Many people believe that there are spirits of our loved ones. Some people believe there are spirits that are stuck here for some reason. Other people believe our loved ones can come through the veil and speak to us from the other side. Regardless, many people from time immemorial have talked about having experiences with ghosts and spirits. Some people view ghosts as our ancestral spirits coming back to help us and guide us, and have experienced seeing loved ones in familiar faces. Other people have experienced ghosts that were not so friendly, perhaps an evil-spirited ghost or someone that was trying to do harm or malice to you. Some people think ghosts are scary and frightening, and other people think they're just the spirits of our loved ones here watching over us. Regardless of what you think, one thing I know for sure, we are all made of energy, and energy never disappears, it just changes form. So I do believe it's entirely possible that an energetic form of our former selves could echo back or come back in residual ways and communicate and impact with the ongoing 3D world. Some people believe that spirit phenomenon is the 5D world trying to interact with the 3D world. Whatever you believe, now is the time for spooky fun. So let's talk about some of the different kinds of ghosts. The first kind is an interactive type of ghost with a personality, usually of a deceased person, someone you might know, a family member, or even a historical figure. Might be someone friendly or unfriendly, and they tend to show themselves in a lot of different ways, through physical apparitions, through making smoke or mists. But this type of a ghost retains a lot of its former personality and communicates with you with a lot of that personality. And oftentimes this is the ghost of a loved one would come back to you in this form because they might feel you need something or just want to see them, so they want to show you that familiar form. Next up are orbs. Orbs are probably the most photographed type of spirit encounter. They can be clear and transparent, translucent. They kind of hover around the ground. Most times you see them around gravestones, or you see them around particular areas of a home or a garden or area where that person would have spent a lot of time. It can be the soul of someone or even perhaps an animal traveling around from place to place. So an orb might be a way a spirit travels around before it appears as a full-bodied apparition. But this is one of the ways we see spirits most photographed, is in this form. Another type of ghost that gets photographed a lot is a funnel ghost. You see them in a lot of older homes and historical buildings, and they often are associated with that incredible feeling of coldness or a very cold spot. And they take on the shape of a swirling tornado or funnel cloud. And most people think that it is a loved one coming to visit or a resident of that space or home. And because the swirling wisps of light are easy to catch, they're often seen in photographs and videos. And this leads us right into ectoplasm or ectomist. So a kind of swirling fog mist, and it's a vaporous cloud that usually hovers a few feet off of the ground. It can move around or just simply hover and stay still. And a lot of this has also been captured on videos, hovering and lingering, sort of a white, gray, or even a black cloud, and sometimes moving into a full-bodied apparition, sometimes just floating away. But many people witness them outdoors, in graveyards, historical sites like battlefields, and places like that. And of course, everyone's heard the term poltergeist. And poltergeist is a ghost that is a noisy ghost, because a poltergeist has the ability to physically manipulate the environment, move stuff around, knock things over, make a lot of noise, and it's actually one of the very rarest forms of hauntings, and probably one of the scariest, because having lots of sounds and lights going on and off and fires breaking out have all been attributed to poltergeists, and we've all seen the movie as well. So, another frightening aspect of this is that a poltergeist usually kind of starts off kind of slow and on the low, on the down low, but it will intensify and it'll get worse. And most times poltergeist activity is harmless and it's over pretty fast. But, as I said, we've all seen the movie and we know that this can be a dangerous type of ghosts. So whatever the case, this is the one that all the ghost hunters are interested in, of course, because it's all super spooky and a little creepy. So the poltergeist, scary one. And certain places seem to be hotbeds for paranormal activity. What are some of the most haunted places around the earth? Well, one of them happens to be the Stanley Hotel in Estates Park, Colorado, which is where they made the movie The Shining. And it has its own spooky history. Staff members and guests have encountered ghosts, such as the famous maid from room 217, who was known to pack the guests' clothing away when they aren't looking. The lighthouse at St. Augustine, Florida, is famously known for having a friendly lighthouse keeper who is often spotted by visitors and staff members. If you ever visit the lighthouse, maybe you'll get to see him as well. And of course, in England, the Tower of London is one of the most famous haunted places. It is the final resting place of many people, and this infamous fort is just dripping with tragedy. And many people have been executed there, including Anne Boleyn and Mary, Queen of Scots. If you're a spooky person visiting London, this place is definitely going to be on your list. And if you travel to Vietnam and are in Ho Chi Minh City, maybe think twice before you go to Tao Dan Park. This 24-acre garden park might look beautiful, but people say that at night, the ghost of a young man who was killed in an attack still wanders through the gardens looking for his lost love. And the Winchester Mystery House in San Jose, California is definitely a spooky place after the death of her husband, rifle magnate William Wirt Winchester. Sarah Winchester began building this amazing and crazy labyrinth of a house in order to keep herself safe from the vengeful spirits killed by her husband's gun. This, of course, has been turned into the famous movie Winchester. The home, which started with 8 rooms, ended up with something like 4 stories, 160 rooms, 47 stairways, some of which lead to nothing at all. And it is now available for tours, including a special spooky Halloweeny one. So if you're in San Jose, you might want to go there. And in South Africa, in Cape Town, you can visit the Castle of Good Hope, a huge fortress that originally served as a replenishment station for ships for the Dutch East India Company. And there are a number of famous ghosts that roam around, including, again, a gray lady who is often seen crying in the hallways, and also a tall man who is seen walking the ramparts. And visitors can tour the fortress and learn more about its spooky history. And the catacombs in Paris, France are very creepy, with over 6 million people buried in the underground tunnels. And you can tour some of the tunnels today, but you know what? I've toured catacombs in Sicily, and touring catacombs is not for everyone. Pretty spooky stuff. The Gettysburg battlefield in Pennsylvania is said to be an incredibly haunted site. It was the site of the bloodiest battle of the Civil War, so it makes a lot of sense that there'd be a lot of paranormal energy there. But visitors have reported seeing many different apparitions of Civil War soldiers wandering the fields, and they even offer ghost tours where you can learn more about the battlefield's history. So as you can see, there are spooky places and spooky things happening all over the world, and they've been going on since as long as we can remember. So I hope this Samhain you have some spooky fun and maybe some spirit activity comes through for you. Be open to it and be aware.
Did that scare you, Alice Poopers? Did all that spooky stuff frighten you? I hope it didn't, because we have more spooky stuff ahead. Our friend Terri Rhode came by from Explorers of Spirit Phenomenon, and she is a paranormal investigator, and I've been out on some investigations with her. It's so much fun. And she stopped by to tell us a little bit about what you might expect if you are being haunted. What are some signs that the spirits are around you? So, take it away, Terri.
Hi, I'm Terri from ESP, and I am here today to tell you about some signs that you might see or hear that might tell you that you are in the presence of spirit, or maybe you are receiving a message from someone in spirit. There are probably 4 top signs that I hear about the most, or that I also have experienced. The first one would be repetitive occurrences. So not just something happening once, but over and over and over again. For example, you go to do your laundry and you notice there's a heads-up penny on your washing machine, and you think, that's odd, I don't remember putting that there, but you probably don't think too much about it. You might just put it in your pocket and move on. Then later in the day, you might be vacuuming, and all of a sudden, heads-up penny on the floor. Now that's 2. You're starting to get a little curious. If you start seeing signs like that, or things that are just repeating, that could very, very well be a sign from spirit. A lot of people report to me hearing noises, hearing voices when no one else is around. So you're home alone, and all of a sudden you might hear like a murmur almost. It sounds like maybe 2 rooms away there's people talking, and you're thinking, did I leave the TV on? Is the radio on? Let me go check. But there's nothing on, and you can't find any reason for that hum or that noise. That could very well be a sign, so you need to pay a little more attention. Probably the top thing that gets reported to me is electronic malfunction. So, for example, and I've had some funny ones get reported to me, but for example, all of a sudden your lights come on for no reason, or go off for no reason. You didn't turn the switch off. Alexa didn't turn the switch off. Why did they go off? I even had a person report to me one time that their ice maker came on and started spewing ice like all over their floor for no reason. One person told me their garage door just started going up and down for no reason. A little more dangerous, and not necessarily at all electronic, but when we were in Ohio at the Belair house, we actually had a candle relight itself. A little scary. Definitely someone trying to get your attention. So pay attention to those things. And then probably the one that everybody kind of thinks they're going to see, or maybe even sometimes wants to see as a sign, would be objects that move. So you specifically remember putting your sunglasses on the coffee table, and when you come back into the room, your sunglasses are now on a chair. Odd. I've had this one happen to me before. In fact, kind of funny occurrence was a friend of mine and I were getting ready to go on a paranormal road trip. And that is something that my late boyfriend, who was on our team, loved. He loved to travel. And he would sometimes not want to take off work to travel with us. So sometimes he wouldn't be planning to go. But as soon as he would see us all packing, then he would get kind of pouty and, where's my suitcase? Aren't I going to go? Well, after he had passed, a couple of years after he had passed, we were planning this road trip and we had packed the night before. And my friend hadn't had the right size suitcase to take on the plane. So I had loaned her my late boyfriend's suitcase. And she had packed it and set it up on top of the couch. And we had gone to bed. And probably hadn't been in bed more than maybe 10 or 15 minutes. And we heard this really loud noise from the living room, which, when you're the only two people in the house, you're like, that may not be good. And so we walked out to the living room, and the suitcase that had been sitting on the sofa, it perfectly balanced, like no way it could just fall, was now in the middle of the room. And we kind of decided that he really wanted to come. And so he was giving us a sign that, that was his suitcase. Why did it have all of her things in it? So, it's sometimes those little, that wasn't too little, but sometimes those signs that you could write them off as being everyday occurrences, but when you really look deeper, they're not. And this is that time of the year when, spirit activity is supposed to kind of amp up to an all-time high. So be aware of things that are going on around you and really listen and really focus, because you could be getting messages and you don't want to miss those because they're awesome. Have a great haunting season.
Well, Alice Poopers, did you learn a little bit more about ghosts? Have you heard any of those rattling chains or any spooky woo? Yeah, it was just BOR, don't worry. We're used to that around the Magical Mansion. So I want to thank Terri again for stopping by and sharing her expertise on ghost hunting and paranormal investigating with us. Don't forget to check her out on Facebook with her partner Tracy Watts. They go all over the place and do all kinds of spooky stuff. We did a 2-part interview with them last year, and if you didn't catch it, check it out. They tell tons of scary stories about things that have happened to them on their haunts over all the years, so you definitely want to check them out. They do a lot of live feeds on their Facebook page, so you might want to get hooked up with them through Facebook. Check it out. They're a lot of fun, and they're very spooky ladies. So thanks again, Terri, for stopping by. And of course, in the words of Buddha, 1,000 candles can be lit from a single candle, and the life of the candle will not be shortened. Happiness never decreases by being shared. So thank you for sharing your time and attention and spookiness with us here today at Meg's Magical Mansion. Hey, if you had a haunting good time and you're feeling very spooky, why not give us a like? Or you could hit the subscribe button. Or don't forget, you could ring the bell, and then I will not come and bite your neck in the night. And don't forget, you can check us out on the Instagram. And I hope you're getting ready for a very spooky Halloween, or as we like to say here at the mansion, Samhain.
And join us next week for our super scary, spooky Halloween horror movie review episode.
We're going to have a good time, and we will see you then.
Hey everybody, don't tell Meg. I snuck in to tell you about a secret giveaway. We're doing a $25 gift card. If you email above, you'll be entered into a drawing this weekend for that $25 Amazon gift card. Go ahead and do it fast before she realizes I pulled the password. Be sure to watch Meg Short on Sunday. She's going to announce the winners. Take care. Bye.